This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Climate stalled. Nova Scotia's climate report sparks backlash over lack of details and emissions reductions. Dueling lawsuits. Nova Scotia and a care provider are suing each other over millions in disputed billing. And new mold. This glassmaker turns the end of Nova Scotian crystal into a new artistic beginning.
Heat warnings continue as the heat and the humidity continue as we roll through Thursday and into Friday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. The provincial government released its annual progress report on efforts to achieve legislated goals related to climate change. As Michael Gordon reports, opposition leaders say the report falls short on details and meaningful progress, but the minister responsible thinks the province remains on track to reach its targets.
The Environmental Goals and Climate Change Reduction Act was passed in 2021 with the aim of tackling climate change through 28 goals. It also required annual progress updates, but this year's report comes with a twist. For the first time, there is no itemized update for each of the goals. That, along with what details are there, is raising questions. The government made no year-over-year progress on reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And after reaching an agreement for $25 million in federal funding to help protect land, the province returned $5 million of it. Those factors and more have opposition leaders questioning the government's commitment to targets it legislated.
I think it's because the government's done a terrible job. I think they've essentially abdicated their responsibility for environmental protection and action. And I think that if we were to see the detail in this report, it would demonstrate that.
It's par for the course for the Houston government to hide behind targets that are way out there that they can't be held accountable for. This is a government that ended the practice of mandate letters or business plans or any way to hold themselves accountable.
Rankin and Chender say they worry the province's renewed emphasis on resource extraction will make meeting the goals even more difficult. But the Environment Minister says he's not concerned. He chalked up the lack of goal-by-goal updates this year to a formatting decision. As for giving back the $5 million,
we do as much as we can where we can. Any government has to always factor in many different considerations, and certainly land, conservation, housing, clean energy projects. So we take a balanced approach and we utilize that nature agreement to the best of our ability.
Holman says he remains committed to achieving the targets set out in the Act by 2030. That includes protecting 20% of the province's land and water mass and getting the province off coal. To date, no coal-fired power plants have closed and 14.5% of the province's land and water mass is protected. Michael Gorman, CBC News, Halifax.
Lawyer and former president of the Nova Scotia Liberal Party, Jason Boudreau, has been charged with fraud after a 7-year investigation into his law firm. The RCMP launched the investigation into 54-year-old Boudreau and his firm after receiving multiple complaints in January of 2019 regarding the misappropriation and theft of trust funds. The investigation collected more than 100 victim and witness statements from Canada and the United States. Boudreau is charged with fraud, theft, and possession of property over $5,000. The province of Nova Scotia and a company that provides care for vulnerable people are locked in a pair of dueling lawsuits. Millions of public dollars could be on the line. The CBC's Shayna Luck explains.
The lawsuit involves Specialized Support Services of Nova Scotia. That's a company the province has contracted to provide 24/7 supervision for children in government care and people with disabilities. The province filed a lawsuit against them in June. Last week, the company fired back with a claim of its own. The province says the company didn't maintain a required 2-to-1 staff-to-client ratio and overbilled for more workers than were present. The province says it hired external auditors to do a review, but the company refused to cooperate. It filed a countersuit, disputing the province's claims and seeking damages. The company says in rare cases during and after the pandemic, it was forced to go down to 1 staff for 1 client ratio, but it denies the province lost out because of this. It also says it fully cooperated with the audit, but it alleges the audit drew incorrect conclusions. The company claims the province estimated estimated overbilling at more than $18 million, a calculation the company says was flawed and had no foundation. The company claims that the province's conduct has damaged its reputation and led to it going out of business. None of the claims from either side have been tested in court. Shayna Luck, CBC News, Halifax.
Residents in Lewisburg are required to boil their water until further notice. The Cape Breton Regional Municipality issued a boil water advisory for the town Wednesday morning after a major water main break. People in the area are advised to bring water to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute. The advisory does not apply to residents on private wells. The boil water advisory will stay in effect until officials confirm there is no bacteria in the water. Hot, sweaty day in Nova Scotia. Here's Ryan Snoddon. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, and that heat is going to continue, Tom, and the humidity will continue to build as we move through the next few days, and peaking on the weekend. That's when it will feel muggiest, although the temperatures will ease a little bit for Saturday into Sunday. Heat warnings have been expanded to include Cape Breton, so now a province-wide heat warning. And this is why temperatures are going to be back up in that 28 to 29 range, and even 30 around the Bredor Lakes region for Cape Breton for Thursday. And again on Friday. No, temperatures will tick down a little bit as we work our way into Saturday. And I've got the shower and thunderstorm chances here as well. But the next 3 days still very, very hot. And you know what? Even as we move into Sunday, while temperatures are going to slide a few more degrees, that mugginess is going to really stick around for sure. Note Monday, though. That looks like when we'll see that break from that stickiest of humidity, and temperatures are going to be sliding back towards the mid-20s, a little more tolerable as well. But we've got a big hill to climb here over the next few days in terms of that humidity, and the heat, as I said, is going to continue with tons of sunshine on tap again Thursday into Friday. Full weekend forecast in your 7-day coming up, Tom.
Do stay tuned for that. Okay, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
As the town of Truro grapples with rising homelessness and public encampments, a new resource is set to open its doors next month. Souls Harbor Rescue Mission is opening a 24-hour emergency shelter. The CBC's Luke Ettinger has more on what this means for the community.
This location on King Street will soon be an emergency shelter in the town of Truro. Souls Harbor Rescue Mission will run it and say it's set to open in September. The charity uses a church, but that means clients have to clear out in the morning. They won't have to at this new shelter.
Now that may be a little bit of an answer because they're going to be open 24 hours, which they currently are not.
The opening of the shelter comes as encampments continue to crop up. In June, Truro spent $45,000 to clean up this debris. Truro police say at least 3 people are living off the Cobequid Trail. All received tickets for trespassing on private property last month and moved farther along the trail to another lot.
I would like to see something positive done about this. We can't just come in with big trash bins and push everybody out, because we're just going to push them somewhere else. We need to find proper solutions.
Pesh says there's been less activity since he spoke to CBC News. He says that doesn't fix the issues for the town, including those living rough.
Good afternoon. Sorry, guys.
In Truro this week, the Premier noted affordable housing is part of the solution. He also mentioned mental health and addictions care.
There's always going to be a need for more, but we're doing what we can to support Nova Scotians, particularly those that are ready for support.
We're just trying to work with our partners, trying to see the best solution, because this is going on in every province and it's going on in a lot of towns right across the province. I don't even think our town is really the worst of it, but it's concerning because anyone unhoused is a concern.
The old Truro hospital lands are slated for affordable housing. The Premier did not offer an exact timeline for site development. A call for proposals closed last month. Luke Ettinger, CBC News, Truro.
A civilian-led team helping people in crisis is expanding. Crisis Assistance and Response, or CARE, launched in Dartmouth last year. The program is now available to anyone on the Halifax Peninsula. CARE offers support for non-urgent issues such as substance use, mental health problems, or food and housing needs through calls to 211. A German Navy sailing ship The Gorge Fox is here for a visit in Halifax Harbour. The ship serves as a floating academy, training Navy cadets in sailing skills, team building, and traditional navigation before they move to warships. The vessel is scheduled to be here for 3 weeks as part of its global training voyage. It left Kiel, Germany on April the 7th, docking in various countries before making its current stop in Halifax. The crew of roughly 230 personnel will start the trip back home in mid-September. We go to the South Shore now to catch up with a glassmaker who was a driving creative force behind a Halifax institution that was forced to close during the pandemic. He's emerged with his own studio, exploring a newfound creative freedom. The CBC's David Irish explains.
When glassmaker Brian Tebe was forced to give up a beloved job he had for decades, he wasn't sure what would come next.
I think everyone felt it to some degree coming. It was really hard, for sure.
Tebe came to Halifax from Southeast Ireland in the 90s, bringing a finely tuned set of skills to Nova Scotian crystal, what was once Canada's only mouth-blown, hand-cut crystal producer. When COVID forced it to close for good in 2021, it was a tectonic shift for Tebe and a close-knit crew.
We've been coming in out here, seeing each other, arguing with each other, laughing with each other, joking with each other, having fun times with each other. And now it's gone. And yeah, it was very, very tough.
What followed was a big reset for Tebe and his wife Jean. They moved to Nova Scotia's South Shore to a home in need of renovations and a 2-car garage that Tebe hoped one day might fill a creative void in retirement.
But it was still a dream that was, it was still off quite far. However, with the closure of Nova Scotia Crystal, it pushed it more into the forefront.
We're doers, not beers. So it went just from finishing one project to the next project.
I then started really focusing hard and trying to get this up and running, and I needed to keep my fingers going.
Now in full swing, Tebe distinguishes his work from that of the past by embracing color, drawing inspiration from his love of the sea and nature. Everything from rum glasses to seashells to decorative buoys. What you won't see is more crystal.
The reason I'm not doing crystal is there's a lot to it. My dream that I talked about a few times was to kind of step away from that and have something where it's just me and it's me creating, and it's definitely a lot more personal and it's every aspect of what I do.
His brother Anthony also worked at Nova Scotian Crystal, and he comes down to help when he can.
I don't know if it's we kind of similar hands, similar movement. We just work so well together. It's like, but it's in our blood.
This may be time-sensitive work, but their time-tested bond can stand the heat.
I know how it works. We've worked together so long as well, and being brothers is a big part, yeah.
Tebe says this new chapter of his career is shaped by decades of experience, the ups and the downs.
I'm hoping that you get to see a little bit of my past in what I do in my present.
Nova Scotian Crystal allowed him to be the person he needed to be in order to be able to do this. He needed that knowledge. He needed those connections.
Using things I'd learned in the past, both from Waterford Crystal techniques and from Nova Scotia Crystal, and taking that and adding my own flair to it and see where it comes, see what happens. My brain is hardwired to be production, like to make. And I really force myself, and Jean slaps me over the side of the head, like, be creative.
He finishes this bowl with the logo of his new studio, Blue Corrig Glass. Corrig, the Irish word for rock. Blue Rock, near Blue Rocks, just outside Lunenburg.
The symbol on my logo is called Ogham. It's an old Celtic alphabet, and you read it from the bottom up. So it says BCG is what the symbol means for Blue Corrig Glass.
Together, they're preparing and making for the year ahead, relishing in creative freedom. David Irish, CBC News, near Blue Rocks.
For sure, this beluga whale was seen swimming around at the St. Peter's Marina in Cape Breton. Now, while occasional sightings do occur in the Maritimes, DFO says belugas are rare visitors to the area. Officials say to keep your distance, at least 100 meters, to help them return home safely. Meanwhile, Halifax, sticky night for sure. How sticky will it be? Ryan Snoddon back with that full weather forecast. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes. All right, if you're in Nova Scotia today and you have air conditioning, you are grateful for it for sure. But man, it's hot and sticky in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, and if you don't have air conditioning, well, Mother Nature providing some relief closer to the coastlines today. Lots of folks in Lunenburg, not surprisingly, as we look at our time-lapse video for today. How many times do you think the Bluenose 2 going in and out of the dock there today? As you can see, sunrise, beautiful and busy in a hurry in Lunenburg, and there goes the Bluenose gone. And lots of folks, as we can see, in and out there for today. Just a really, really busy day, but a great day down by the water in Lunenburg and all along the coast of Nova Scotia. Looking pretty good indeed as we look at the live shot there right now. We just missed the horse. The horses going
horse and carriage?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Unfortunately.
Maybe another night.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye.
Yeah, we will. They are making the rounds, though. Heat warning in effect for mainland Nova Scotia and now for Cape Breton. And if you're wondering, again, why Cape Breton, Not included last night, but included tonight and into tomorrow. It's all about the criteria, right? So you need 2 or more days of temperatures 29 or warmer, plus nighttime temps of 16 or warmer, or 2 or more days with humidex values of 36 or higher. And Cape Breton now, at least a good portion of the island, will check those boxes for tomorrow and for Friday as we look at the current temperatures. 30 in Antigonish, 31 in Sheet Harbour, and it is, 31 at Halifax Airport, 29 downtown. Very warm. We are looking at some relief in those onshore winds for the Tri-County area. Humidex values climbing into the 38 range right now. Places like Enfield, where the airport station is. And yeah, you can see 37 at Sheet Harbour. Everywhere else, at least feeling into the low to mid 30s, or at least most of us. And you can see those current winds in from the southwest today, sustained in the 15-20 range, gusting 30 to 40 for Cape Breton. It's going to be a lighter wind for tomorrow, so that will have an influence for sure. There'll be sea breezes, yes, but it won't be quite as strong. That wind won't be for tomorrow. There's the frontal boundary dividing the hot and sticky stuff in the southeast of the U.S. and eastern Canada from the more seasonal and less muggy air across moving into the prairies and into northwestern Ontario at last check. Now for tonight, temperatures are going to be ranging between around 17 to 20 degrees across the province. We'll see temperatures a little bit cooler right along parts of the coast, but again, 15, about as cool as it gets. A bit of cloud cover in the mix today over the southwest. That'll continue overnight tonight and in through tomorrow morning. Yarmouth down through Digby, Yarmouth, Shelburne, as well as Queens County. Then even up towards the Lunenburg area at times tomorrow and Halifax, but overall, just a whole lot of sunshine for tomorrow. We are looking at temperatures that are going to be back in that 25 to 28 range for tomorrow across Cape Breton, but looks like inland, in and around the Bredor Lakes region, this is where we're likely to crack 30. Humidex values here, 36, 37. Maybe 38. It is going to be very, very hot and sticky, so get to the coast if you can. Some light sea breezes will help things along the coastlines. Across the mainland, we're back into the widespread low 30s for tomorrow. Some sea breezes helping out in places like Parsboro and right along the North Shore and right along the Atlantic coastline, but it is going to be very, very hot. And again, humidex values here, once again, 34, 38 at times. Looking at the temperatures in the west, I think our hot spots officially tomorrow temperature-wise, likely Bridgewater to Kedzie. That's our best shot of hitting 33. Not much to report on Friday, though note here, couple of very isolated showers and maybe a rumble of thunder popping up on Friday. Looks like less than a 30% chance, though. And so it is, once again, just hot and humid for Friday. And then as we look ahead to Saturday, a more widespread chance of some scattered showers, certainly cloud cover in the mix, so that'll help to cool things a little bit, and those scattered shower and thunderstorm chances are going to be in the mix with that humidity at its peak late Friday into Saturday, with those dew points well north of 20 for a good many of us, and it looks like temperatures sliding a little bit more for Sunday, but still staying muggy. Shower and thunderstorm chances for both days. It won't be a washout, but we'll have to keep our eye on the sky both Saturday and Sunday, Tom. And then you can see next week, still very summer-like, but some relief from that humidity, especially early week.
We might appreciate that by the time we get there, won't we?
I'm thinking so, yeah.
Okay, Ryan, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, it was once the most populous city in New Brunswick, then the second. Now St. John may have been demoted to third overall after stagnant growth and government reforms leave it with idle numbers. The CBC's Abby Rushton explains.
St. John is Canada's oldest incorporated city. It turned 241 this spring, and for 227 of those years, it remained undisputed as New Brunswick's largest city. But all that changed in 2012. The rapidly growing city of Moncton overtook St. John as the province's largest. And so, for the past decade, St. John has been adjusting to the fact that it is New Brunswick's second largest city. But now, that may also have changed.
In 2023, the boundaries of the city of Fredericton were expanded.
Melissa Tang Choi is a city planner for Fredericton. She has been working on how to integrate new areas that were added to the city in 2023 by the province. The expanded boundaries came with more than 4,000 new people, potentially enough to push Fredericton past St. John as New Brunswick's second largest city. Official estimates from Statistics Canada are unclear about which city is now larger. But Statistics Canada's senior analyst Sebastien Lavoie said it is entirely possible that Fredericton is now number 2.
For sure, they're so close in terms of population that I can definitely see that they don't have to absorb that many smaller cities or towns around them to maybe overtake St. John.
In 2001, St. John was still New Brunswick's largest city with just under 72,000 people, 8,600 more people than Moncton and 22,000 more than Fredericton. But over the next several years, its lead narrowed until 2012, when, for the first time, Moncton took over as the province's largest city. Since then, Moncton has maintained its first overall position, leaving the other 2 cities behind, while Fredericton steadily crept in on St. John, until last year, when Statistics Canada reported that Fredericton had closed within 4,700 people. But those numbers were before New Brunswick went under local government reforms in 2023, when Fredericton absorbed between 4,000 and 5,000 people, compared to none for St. John. St. John Mayor Donna Reardon said if her city is now the 3rd largest, she's okay with that.
At the end of the day, for me, it's like I said, it's not something that keeps me awake at night, because I always say that comparison is the thief of joy. And I have seen such an evolution of St. John in the years since I've been on council and I've been the mayor, and I'm very, very happy, and I think it's a fabulous place to live, so it's great, and I love what's happening in St. John, so I'm good.
We're working hard, and that's no slight on any other community, but...
In Fredericton, Mayor Steve Hicks was not surprised to learn about the possibility of his city overtaking St. John, and is not entirely unhappy about it.
All the cities in Fredericton and New Brunswick have their own kind of niche. We don't really compete with each other, so I think we can all benefit from each other. But yeah, it's nice to still pass St. John if we can.
It won't be known for sure until the latest census is tabulated early next year what the exact populations of New Brunswick cities are. But there is already some evidence to suggest that what would have been unthinkable over the last 2 centuries has happened. Of New Brunswick's 3 largest cities, St. John may well now be number 3.
Coming up, organizations are calling for reviews into recent cyclist and pedestrian fatalities in Nova Scotia. A group called CRASH, or Coalition to Reduce Auto Size Hazards, is calling on Nova Scotia's Chief Medical Examiner to review pedestrian and cyclist fatalities involving pickup trucks and large SUVs to reduce future deaths. It comes following the death of Dalhousie Transportation Engineering professor Dr. Nouman Ali. Ashley Bors is with the Ecology Action Centre here in Halifax, and this organization concerned about this issue as well. So, Ashley, in front of a pickup truck here for a bit of a show and tell, but what is the issue with the large trucks and the large SUVs?
Right, so the larger and exceedingly large SUVs and trucks is that there's just unchecked growth in size, which increases the danger to vulnerable road users. So for the last, between 2000 and 2018, it was shown that vehicle size of the vehicle front end height has grown 11%, and the weight of vehicles has grown 24%, which is just so dangerous.
Okay, people need pickup trucks, though, to do work in the city and that kind of thing. So what are you looking for here? What would you like to see happen?
Well, firstly, we're just calling for the review, for the medical examiner to have that review to just get more insight into the fatalities that have been caused when there's been collisions with people. So we're hoping that through this there will just be more recommendations for a check in the vehicle size, maybe a vehicle redesign, increased licensing responsibilities. You know, there's an increased responsibility when you have such a large vehicle. For other people outside the vehicle.
So let's look at this pickup truck here, for example. What is the issue with this? We can see into the cab of the vehicle, presumably the driver can see out of it, but you do think that the size does have effect on the operation of the vehicle?
Yeah, the larger a vehicle cab gets, there's an increase in blind spots and I guess a disassociation with the space outside. So for example, if we were at a crosswalk and this car was here and we had a small child or were in a mobility device, the visibility just isn't there. If we were to be hit by a car of this size or a truck of this size, we're more likely to sustain more serious injury because we're getting it in the torso as opposed to just getting us in the legs like a regular sedan.
You can hear the construction noise in the background here. Pickup trucks all around, for obvious reason. People need them for work, as I alluded to earlier. So how are you facing an uphill battle in that regard? Because the drivers of pickup trucks like this, many of them will say, I need this to work.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We have done lots of contracting work and, traveled around the province in things other than this size of pickup before. There's plenty of utility vehicles that are not of this scale that are equally as capable of doing the work.
So ultimately, you'd like to see a bit of a downsizing in the pickup and the SUV world. That's trying to change an automotive industry, which is not an easy ask by any means. How reasonable or how realistic do you think that is?
I mean, it's what are we willing to trade off? People's safety. Once the roads are safer for everyone wins.
In this case, or the case that I referred to, the recent death in Halifax, it was a dooring incident. The door had opened, and these doors are big. These doors are heavy. Is it more of an issue with a pickup truck than it would be with a normal car that's parked on the side of the street? If you hit a door, you hit a door?
I mean, yeah, there's so much that comes into play in those situations, speed, proximity, but yeah, essentially a larger vehicle is going to be higher up. The driver may have less visibility, and then, yeah, the door is certainly going to take up more area and you're going to hit more of it.
What do you think the medical examiner can do about it?
Well, because they're an independent entity, they can certainly make recommendations to all levels of government for any changes. In 2012, Ontario had some luck with this, where their medical examiner, after looking into, had the same death review, and were able to advocate for more bike safety and bike lanes, better road safety, and traffic speed lowering.
Did anything change with the vehicles, the work trucks, or the larger pickup trucks, for example?
Not in that case, I don't believe so, but I'm not certain of the details.
Okay. What do you want the province, you cited regulations and so on, what would you like the province to do or the federal government to do?
So the federal government is in charge of the overall vehicle manufacturing and safety standards. So they can certainly look into that and make regulations on the size and design of vehicles. Provincially, we certainly look into additional licensing for people that have the added responsibility of having a more deadly vehicle. And municipally can certainly increase, for example, parking fees for larger vehicles that are taking up more road space in our already limited road space. and things like that.
Have you heard back from any officials yet, or any inclination as whether there's an interest in looking at this at all?
I mean, the letter just went out today, so I think it's important that we just get the review, and if we can get the review, we can just get some recommendations for some more options. We want to give people options to not have to drive and not be in a larger car, and we want that to be safer for everyone.
How else do you make a pickup truck like this safer to either use or to be bicycling around? You would be talking about a design change, no?
Yeah, smaller.
A smaller pickup truck?
A smaller pickup truck, yeah.
And with people who need the capacity to tow heavy things or to move big things around the city, what do they do?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, Nova Scotians love their trucks for sure, and there is like a needs case for sure for a lot of people. I think the larger vehicles are being marketed in a way that is like almost like toys, like your pleasure vehicle. You know, that they are apparently safer for the people inside, and I think that people should just be more aware at the point of sale of what their vehicle is actually capable of.
All right, we'll leave it on that note. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming up, Russia unleashes a wave of missile and drone strikes on Kyiv, leaving dozens dead. And wildfires in Washington state destroy hundreds of buildings in a matter of days and forces thousands from their homes. Welcome back. Russia unleashed a large-scale assault on Ukraine's capital overnight. A barrage of missiles and drones caused carnage all around Kyiv because the Ukrainian military was unable to shoot them down. It is almost completely out of intercept weapons. And it seems the U.S. is suddenly balking at providing more. The CBC's Nala Ayed reports.
In a summer full of terrible nights, for Kyiv, this was one of the worst. Just after midnight, a barrage of Russian missiles. Ukrainian forces conceded they couldn't stop a single one. On the ground, the consequences were searing. At least 17 people killed and dozens injured. The targets included warehouses and a railway station. Victims' bodies there were only retrieved in daylight. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said those lives could have been saved if Kyiv had the missile interceptors he'd repeatedly asked for. We made it through a difficult winter, he says, but the reduction in supplies has become more noticeable with each passing month. Today, we're facing a clear shortage. The shortage of American-made Patriot missiles, crucial for countering Russian ballistic missiles coming at Ukraine with increasing frequency, is blamed by some on the ongoing conflict in Iran.
Now, we have not agreed to that.
And last month, the U.S. president walked back a suggestion he may support Ukraine making Patriots in Ukraine. Ukraine has been bringing the war closer to Russian cities with more drone attacks.
The combination.
But experts say Russia is clearly exploiting Ukraine's vulnerability.
The ballistic missile attacks is one area where Russia has a significant advantage, and Ukraine is unable to fully deter these attacks. And unfortunately, it's not just critical infrastructure, but it is affecting ordinary Ukrainian citizens that are being killed as a result of these attacks.
And civilians are keenly aware of the escalation.
It was so scary, I must say. This was my scariest night during the 5 years. My scariest night.
Zelensky has sought to highlight the threat to civilians, releasing on Tuesday footage of a drone appearing to pursue a vegetable vendor before exploding, causing him serious injuries. It's terrifying, of course, says the man identified only as Yuri. Really terrifying. An already terrifying conflict taking yet another dangerous turn. Nala Ayed, CBC News, London.
Officials in Washington state are hoping a brief spell of cooler weather will give them time to gain control of 3 wildfires around the city of Spokane. They've already burned through about 700 homes. Many more are under threat, and tens of thousands of people have been forced to flee. The CBC's Julia Wong has the latest details from the danger zone.
Officials say conditions are good right now in fighting the 3 wildfires burning in and near Spokane, and they say they're making progress. In the last 24 hours, they say they've been able to get a better handle on the fires, and now they're starting to contain them. Evacuees have been out of their homes since Saturday. Many of them don't know when they can go back home, and for some of them, if they have a home to go back to.
On the north side of the fire.
This morning, there was an operational briefing for fire crews, where firefighters got an update on the wildfires, the weather forecast, as well as notes about fire behavior. There are now about 1,300 firefighters from across the U.S. who are here trying to rein in this wildfire. And while there has been some good news, there is an acknowledgement that there are still challenges with these wildfires.
Well, this is still a very complex fire. It's one of those fires that come out of the wildland into the urban interface, wind-driven. So it presents a lot of complexities, right? Over 65,000 people evacuated. And a lot of people lost their homes. So there's a lot of aspects of this that are not good, and it's going to change people's lives, and it's going to take a long time to recover.
I've been in the fire service 30 plus years, and this is an incident of, I think you could ask any Spokane County area fire chief or firefighter. No one has seen anything like this before. I mean, this is a magnitude of a level that no one has experienced.
There's still a long ways to go to get these wildfires under control, especially considering there are hotter, drier, and windier conditions expected in the days to come. Julia Wong, CBC News, Spokane, Washington.
Much of Metro Vancouver is blanketed in a thick haze of smoke from the 115 wildfires burning in BC, most of them in the southern interior. That's where one huge fire near Lake Okanagan is still burning out of control after destroying about 230 homes over the weekend. The CBC's Darius Madavi explains how it became so destructive so quickly, despite the best efforts of fire crews.
Everything was fine until it wasn't.
Okay, the fire's right here at the road, and the wind is fanning these flames.
Without warning, the Bradley Creek wildfire exploded in size, destroying homes and forcing thousands to evacuate. Here's how it happened. On July 31st, the fire sparked in BC's North Okanagan, but it didn't show significant growth. Then, on August 1st, a cold front swept across BC. The wildfire service was prepared for challenging conditions, strong winds, thunderstorms, on top of a severe drought. But what happened around the Bradley Creek fire was beyond expectations. Winds were forecast to gust at times up to 70 kilometers per hour. Instead, crews on the ground saw sustained 80 kilometer per hour winds, and at elevation up to 115 kilometers per hour. Winds that strong can crank up fire activity fast and make it far more dangerous for crews on the ground and in the air. But it wasn't just the speed of the winds, it was the unpredictable directions the winds were blowing. The first wind shift came on fast, driving the fire aggressively towards the east. Later in the evening, the winds shifted again, pushing the fire towards the northeast, where it crossed Highway 97. Officials said crews in southern BC faced the worst fire activity they have ever seen. The result, thousands evacuated and dozens of properties destroyed. Darius Madavi, CBC News, Vancouver.
A deadly outbreak of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo is outpacing efforts to contain it, but help may be on the way in the form of a new vaccine. And as Tashana Reid tells us, it's now being tested in Canada.
Workers pushed to finish a new facility for Ebola patients to keep up with the unprecedented spread of the Bundibugyo virus in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The biggest treatment center of the country with a capacity 100 beds.
The outbreak is now the second largest ever. WHO officials say it has killed about 1,700 people and infected nearly 3,800 since mid-May. It's a situation further complicated by an ongoing conflict, forcing mass displacements and widespread mistrust with health authorities. There is no approved treatment or vaccines for this rare Ebola strain, but scientists are hoping to change that.
There is promising progress with clinical trials of treatment, of prophylaxis, and of vaccines.
And Canada is joining that effort. Health Canada has authorized a Phase 1 clinical trial for a potential mRNA vaccine for the Bundibugyo strain. A total of 80 healthy Canadians are enrolled, the first dose given in Truro, Nova Scotia on Sunday. Drug maker Moderna says the technology builds on the same methods used to develop its COVID vaccine.
Our focus right now is generating data that characterizes the safety and effectiveness of our vaccine candidate.
The Phase 1 trial will determine any side effects, the appropriate dosage, and test if the immune system makes antibodies. Canada is the second country after the UK to launch clinical trials for a vaccine candidate. Still, Phase 2 and 3 clinical trials need to follow, and that could take more than a year.
The hope is that something's ready soon enough for this outbreak, but more realistic is that we have something in our back pocket for future outbreak.
Moderna says they hope to have clinical data from this trial ready in the fall. And if the results are promising, the goal is to complete the next stage of trials on the ground in Congo. Tashana Reid, CBC News, Toronto.
Legendary Canadian broadcaster Lloyd Robertson has died. Known for being authoritative and unflappable on air, he spent many years as anchor for flagship news programs at the CBC and CTV. Susan Ormiston looks at his life and legacy.
Tonight's stories come from Washington, Sicily, Apollo 12.
It was the voice that caught the ear in the early days of TV news.
Good evening, Lloyd Robertson for CBC News.
His baritone delivery, a steady soundtrack for some of the biggest stories of our times, like the first man on the moon in 1969.
I'm pinching myself because here I am,
little kid from Stratford, in the center of things.
Lloyd Robertson got his start in private radio, then joined CBC TV in the mid-1950s when staff announcers wore many hats.
Right now, it's your vacation time.
Roles in Vacation Time and Mr. Fix-It.
Take your pick. Which one is the Mona Lisa?
Everybody did everything, news, sports, weather, jazz shows, whatever.
Everything is in readiness here.
But news became his passion.
For the first time, a satellite over the Indian Ocean is being used.
As TV went from black and white to color, so did Lloyd. By the 1970s, Robertson was CBC's main news anchor,
Good evening.
guiding Canadians through tense moments like the FLQ crisis.
Canadians are mourning the death of Pierre Laporte at the hands of political assassins.
Greeting royals.
Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
And marking moments in political history.
Richard Milhouse Nixon, the President of the United States, will address the American people. That's the news.
Robertson was a fixture in Canadians' lives on CBC until 1976, when at 42 years old, he jumped ship. Joining CTV, first as co-anchor with Harvey Kirk,
The CTV National.
and then chief anchor for 3 decades.
Good evening. U.S. President Ronald Reagan has
Shepherding viewers through some of the biggest crises in history. At home, a popular celebrity who covered 14 federal elections, as familiar to Canadians as the prime ministers he interviewed.
I'm not quitting before you. Okay, that's the deal.
Jean Chrétien left his post long before Robertson, who announced he would leave CTV's anchor chair in 2011, turning it over to Lisa Laflamme, but staying on as a special correspondent for W5.
He has gained public trust for his integrity.
Robertson was awarded an Order of Canada,
the degree of Doctor of Laws,
multiple honorary degrees, and from his colleagues, the prestigious Gordon Sinclair Award. A special moment for the consummate professional.
And so we come to the end, and it couldn't
Who's
happen at a
now
more fitting
delivered
time
his
than the
final
beginning of September
signature
2020.
sign-off to Canada.
And that's the kind of day it's been for all of us at CTV News. Good night.
Canada's main stock index and U.S. markets continued hovering around record highs on Wednesday as investors were hopeful that a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz could be getting closer. Here's a look at those numbers as we head to break. All right, one of my favorite parts of the show, the viewer pick section with Ryan, but something a little different tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Received an email today, and this was worth featuring in this time slot. Not a viewer picture, but a viewer video. And this from a spot that I've seen tons of times, a beautiful DeWolf Park on the Bedford Basin, the top of the Halifax Harbor. I've seen lots of folks fishing there on the wharf. I haven't seen a tuna fish fishing there before, but this was the scene this morning from Colleen Acre. And have a look at this. Watch this.
Oh, there it is. No doubt about it.
Absolutely incredible video. We're going to loop that best one back. The video that Colleen sent was 2 minutes long, and there were multiple jumps. That was the best one. This one was pretty good, too.
See the fish flying, too,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. You can see the fish flying. Just fantastic stuff. And even at the end of the video, there's an osprey that comes down and grabs some fish as well. So there was a little bit of everything going on this morning.
Real get together
at DeWolf Park, and there's that best jump once again.
Impressive.
I'm gonna post that whole video, by the way, on my Facebook page if you want to check it out this evening. Heat warnings in effect for the entire province for tonight. So yeah, tuna's doing okay, staying cool in the water. There are the temperatures for tomorrow. Feeling, yes, even warmer than this. Widespread temps into the 30s, but feeling mid to high 30s. And Friday, a very similar story. Temperature-wise and humidity-wise, we will be looking at that humidity really, really building through Friday and into the weekend. And as we look at that 7-day forecast, some showers and thunderstorms for the weekend with some relief behind them for early next week.
That's sounding good. Okay, thanks so much, Ryan. A Polish ultra-marathoner and swimmer has become the first person to swim across the Baltic Sea. Bartłomiej Kupkowski swam from Sweden and Poland over 160 kilometers, by the way, in 55 hours. That's over 2 days straight of swimming. No breaks, no touching the boat, no sleeping, of course. For the feat to be officially recognized, he then needed to leave the water without help.
He did it for a good cause, raising the equivalent of about 225,000 Canadian dollars.
Wow,
incredible.
What a feat. I can't believe he's even close to being able to walk there.
Wow.
That's quite something. That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.